Okay, in this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the features of WP Smart Tags. The whole system is built off of tagging, so you can set the system up so that it applies a tag when a member does something, whether they click on a link, whether they fill out a contact form, whether they click on a page, anything like that. So if they take an action, you can assign a tag, and then you can use that tag to do things, to either unlock content for them, to assign points for engagement scoring, things like that. So this is the dashboard. This is the analytics screen of one of my membership sites where I've been running this for a few months now. And you can see the types of metrics that we're capturing. We're tracking member engagement, retention rates, login duration, login frequency. We're tracking the number of new customers that are added to the membership site on a monthly basis. We're tracking the most used tags in the system. And then below that, we're tracking key metrics such as the growth rate and the churn rate over time. We're tracking the retention rate and changes in the retention rate over time. And we're tracking engagement levels over time. So these are the number of points, the scores tallied up that have been released each month. So we had a high month in August. We had a lot of activity going on. And then finally, we're tracking most engaged members. So all of the members who have the highest points assigned in the system based on actions that they may have taken. So that's all the data that we display graphically on the analytics screen. Then we have the reports section. And the reports section basically just allows us to see a tabular listing of the changes within each membership level in terms of the members at the start of the month, new members that were added, members that were lost, and the closing balance. And then with that data, we can calculate the churn rate, the growth rate, and the retention rate. And we can look at that either monthly or weekly or yearly. Then in the settings section, this is where we basically set things up. So in here, if we are integrated with one of the membership site plugins that we have full integration with through their API, we can immediately import all of the members, and then we can see all of the membership levels in the drop-down box. And with that, we can add tags when somebody joins a level, or we can add a tag when somebody cancels or is removed from that level. And we can add as many of these as we want depending on how many membership levels are on the membership site. We have integration with ActiveCampaign. So what this does, it will actually push any tag that we create within WP Smart Tags that's assigned to a member. It will push it to their profile, their contact profile within ActiveCampaign. We can send out an email notification when somebody doesn't log in for a period of time. So this is a good way to re-engage members that haven't visited your site for a period of time. And then finally, we can assign engagement scoring to pages based on the visits of those pages. And we can also assign engagement scoring for each time they log in. So in this case, I've got it set up so that each time they log in, they receive 1 point, and each time they visit this particular page, they receive 1 point. And again, I can add as many pages as I want to this. So that's the settings screen. Now let's go to the tags. This is the meat and potatoes of what really drives things. So we can create a new tag, and we can add a score to that tag through the pop-up screen and click Create. On this screen, I can see all of my tags that I've created. I can see any engagement scores that I've assigned to each one of those tags, and I can see the number of members that have those tags. So for example, if I go down to Purchase Email Wire, I can click on number 13, and I can see the 13 members that have been given that tag. And I can go directly to their history profile, which I'll show you that in a moment, to see more details about that particular member. Now let's go into automations. So automations is where we take those tags and we actually do something based on their behavior. So I've got a very simple automation that I've created here called user login. So let's just click edit that. And what this automation does is the whole purpose of this is for me to be able to know when somebody's logged into the site. This isn't a site where I sell content on a monthly basis, and I expect them to come back quite regularly to the site. This is a site where they purchase a software application from me, and if they come back, it's usually to review video tutorials or to submit a support ticket. So the automation starts when somebody logs in, and then I've assigned a waiting period of just 1 minute, and then after that I add a tag. So after 1 minute they get a tag added. It's called last login, and at the same time I've checked this box, and what that does is it automatically sends me as the administrator an email that says somebody received this tag, and it gives me their name and email address, so I know that that person's logged into the site. And then I close it out with an end automation. So that's generally what an automation looks like. Let me now build an automation for you so you get an understanding of how this works. So I'm going to click Add New Automation, and I'm going to call this Bonus. And the purpose of this automation is to give somebody access to a page that they don't have access to. So the automation starts when they have an engagement score greater than 100. So the moment somebody has an engagement score greater than 100, this automation kicks in and they're added to the automation. So now I'm going to click Add a Tag and click Engagement Score for the tag. Click Save. So what this does now is if their score is greater than 100, we're adding a tag called Automation Score. Now to continue on with this automation, I click on the plus sign, and I'm prompted to do one of two things. I can do a do action, or I can set up a trigger, an if then else. In this particular example, I'm going to do a do action because I've already assigned a tag, and now all I want to do is add them to a new membership level and give them access to that level as a bonus, and then click Add. The other thing I could do is to create a trigger, an if then else statement. So for example, if somebody visits a page, then add them to a level and select the level. And now you can see here's our if then else, right? That's not what I want to do. I just did that as an example, but now I'll just delete that. So now I'll delete this and then just do what I had planned on doing. So I've added a tag, and now all I want to do is, because they've reached 100 engagement points, I've added a tag to know that, and then I'm going to add them to a level and click Add. And then I'm just going to close this automation by clicking End Automation. And this automation's done. So now I'll make it active, and then anytime somebody reaches an engagement score of 100, they'll be automatically given the tag that I've assigned, and then they'll automatically be granted access to the level that I've assigned in this node, and then I've closed the automation, and that automation will run. Now let's look at the member history. So this tracks all of the activity for each individual member. So it opens up the user list, and here you can see we've got this column called Member History. So I'm just going to click on one of our members here, View History. And here I can see on the left-hand side chronological display of all of the actions that individual has taken on our site. I can scroll down, I can see any automations that they are in or were in. I can see all the pages they visited, the date that they visited, the IP address they logged in with. All of that information is stored within the member history screen. On the right hand side, I can see their engagement score. So over the past 30 days, this individual's received 6 points for a total of 27 to date. I can see their member details, the number of levels they're in, the last time they logged in, the total logins to date, average page visits per login, total IP addresses used, any automations that they're in that I just showed you, any tags that have been assigned to this individual, and I can add tags directly on the screen if I want to. And then finally, I can record notes on an individual. So if I had something personal that I wanted to keep track of for that particular individual, I could type in a note here and click Save, and it would show up as a log. This is sort of like a journal for as an administrator to be able to keep notes on particular members within the membership site. So that's all of the functionality within the user interface of WP Smart Tags. There's a couple of other touch points that I want to show you as well. So let's click Pages. And if I click on Bonus Page, on the right hand side here you'll see WP Smart Tags. What I can do here is I can actually dynamically control who sees this page based on if they have not a particular tag. So I could redirect them so that we're actually prevent them from accessing this page, or change it at a point in time when they receive a tag. So I can redirect them to another page when a user with or without a tag, and I can select the tag, and when I enter a URL, select for users with tag, then only members who are logged in and have this tag will be redirected to a different page. So if, let's say, they canceled from a membership level and I no longer want them to have access to this bonus page, then I could redirect them to a different URL. I could also, by clicking on the WP Smart Tags shortcode icon, I can create a shortcode on the site to show content for only when somebody has a particular tag. So in this case, when the tag equals numeric number 5, which aligns to a specific tag, then they would see any content or download links or whatever that's displayed within this shortcode. So only members who have actually received that tag by perhaps doing something, and you've tagged them for reaching a certain engagement score, or for taking a particular action, or clicking on a specific link within the site, then it could dynamically open up any content that they could see, and only they would see because they have received that tag. Two more areas. The other area I want to show you is under Appearance Menus. And what you can do with WP Smart Tags is you can actually control who sees what for menu items within your navigation bar. So let's say under Webinars, I only want this link to show up in my navigation bar to members who are logged in and have a specific tag. So let's say I only want EmailWire members who have been tagged with EmailWire to be able to see the webinar link within the navigation bar. So now if I click Save, only members who have that tag will be able to see that link in the navigation bar. Now let's look at widgets. Under widgets, one of the things we can do is for any type of widget that you have in your sidebar, you can have dynamic control over that. So again, much like the other screen I showed you, that if we can show this widget for users with any one of these tags. Okay, so let's say I'll only want this widget to show for users that have been tagged with user comments, and then click Save. So you could show with different widgets on different pages depending on what tags a member has received for taking a particular action. Very dynamic way to show content in your sidebar. Okay, so the last thing that I want to show you is a gamification technique, a way to entice members to do more, to get more involved on your membership site. So I'm going to flip over to a different membership site now. This is our OneResults members area. And if I scroll down, the very bottom here, you'll see this widget in our sidebar called Most Engaged Members. And what this does is it displays the members, the top 10 members in the members area who have the most engagement points on your site. So when members see this, they instinctively want to be on the top of this leaderboard. So if they know how to get points, they will become more active on your site. So that's just another way to engage the members on your membership site. So that is it. That is essentially what WP Smart Tags does. So we've got a lot of functionality in this plugin, and with the automation feature, the sky's the limit in terms of how you can get creative in releasing content, unlocking specific content to specific members based on specific actions that they take.